LaxCon coming up on January 15th and 16th. We're now joined by Chazz Woodson, the head coach at Hampton, also presenting on Saturday the 16th this year. And Chazz, my description says lessons from a life in sports, and obviously someone that's been an athlete at the highest level of your sport and also a coach with Hampton as well. I guess, what do you want to touch on? What will you touch on? Give us a preview of what you're going to present on Saturday.
Yeah, initially, this was a slightly different presentation, and I was going to kind of dig into, I think, lessons in leadership. But really, I thought what made more sense was to share a little bit about myself and my own story and kind of what I've gathered from being a player and from being a coach, and just how lacrosse translates to life. And so that's what we're doing. I'm going to share five lessons that I've learned specifically from lacrosse or lacrosse situations, and hopefully it helps somebody.
Yeah, what do you want someone maybe to get out of that, out of your story, I guess? What kind of perspective do you want people to learn?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I think it will speak to kids from the standpoint of, hey, why are we going through all of this, right? Like, you know, we enjoy sports, but there's got to be some, or there is something bigger, I think. And I think there's something that translates down the road, and sometimes we don't recognize it until, you know, we're 10, 15 years removed from playing or whatever it is. You know, if you stop playing in high school, or whether you finish in college, or even if you go on to play professionally, I think down the road you look back and you realize, man, I made it through this situation because I learned this skill set, you know, while I was playing lacrosse, or while I was playing football or basketball, or whatever it happened to be. And then I think from the coach's perspective, one of the things that I wanted to do was give out a few things, a few tips, I guess. You know, I'm not I don't have to be the smartest man in the room, but I do think my experience has given me some things that I can share with other coaches that can help them to be better coaches for their players. Not necessarily X's and O's stuff, but just to make them more impactful as they move through their coaching journey.
And I can imagine that has helped you, and especially here at Hampton. Unfortunately, you're not going to have a season due to things being canceled, but just relating and recruiting, I guess, to the guys as well. Those conversations and in one of those, hey, I've been in your shoes type things as well, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. You know, recruiting and coaching, whether it's, you know, college, high school, whether it's youth, whether it's basketball, football, it doesn't matter. It's all about relationships. And I think I mentioned that in our last interview, actually. This boils down to building individual and collective relationships. And I think that has carried me so far. I think we're doing a great job of building relationships among the team, or with me and the team. I think the team already was pretty closely knit. And but I think that's also the approach I'm taking in recruiting, and just trying to really connect with guys and get to know them, and you know, hopefully sell them on the idea that, you know, I have been through what they've been through, and or what they're going through, and, you know, I've been where they want to go, and you know, and I'm here to help them out in any way I can. You know, there's some guys that I've actually made some pretty cool connections with that have opted out of coming to Hampton, but we've been able to be in touch, and I think hopefully I've been able to help them through a couple of things.
Yeah, you mentioned on and off the field, so important. And you look at what's going on in our country, and even over the summer with the marches and Black Lives Matter, and then on Wednesday of this week, the insurrection at the Capitol, which caused so many, obviously, just to stop in their tracks in shock and horror, quite honestly. And you had mentioned right before this call, you were talking to one of your players, and you mentioned those relationships you have with those guys since then. I don't know how much of an opportunity you've had to talk about that, but I guess what have those conversations been like for you, and talking to some of these athletes, and also from your own perspective?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on our team call last night actually talking about it. We meet every Thursday, and it was an interesting call, certainly to hear their perspectives, to share my thoughts on it. It's a crazy time we're in. Like, I don't think there's anybody that can reasonably say that they saw this coming, or that, well, unfortunately, maybe they can say they saw it coming, but you know, I never did. I didn't think this is something that we would see in my lifetime. I guess, you know, the last 7-8 months made me reconsider some of those thoughts, but It's a scary thought that it happened so easily, and you just realize that if it could happen that easily that day, then it could happen that easily any other day, and it could be worse, and it could have been worse. And you just, I think that's the part that's really concerning to me personally. And then, our guys were able to share some of their concerns as well and some of their frustrations. And I think we had a very productive and candid conversation last night. And, but that to me is coaching, right? Like, ultimately my job is to galvanize these guys and, move towards success on the field. But the bigger picture and what coaching is really about is being able to help people through times like that, and being able to really, connect with them in a way that allows them to trust you when they have concerns, and trust you when, things are not going great in their lives.
What did you tell them, Chazz? Like, what were some of the things? Obviously, you mentioned they had some frustrations. Like, what was your response to some of the things they had to say?
I tried not to tell them too much. I shared my frustrations. I tried to be as open and candid as I could be, because I don't have the answer to it. I'm in the same boat they are. I'm frustrated, and I don't think I'm worried about anything. But certainly you can't help but see that and be frustrated, because it's representative of something that we've been talking about for so long, that Black people and young Black men in particular, I know among my friends, among my peers, we've talked about this stuff for so long, and it all kind of manifested yesterday. And I think there's some people that are unbelievably shocked, and I'm not shocked, but it doesn't mean I'm not frustrated. And so, I just tried to share my feelings on it, and not direct them any particular way, but we had a great discussion.
Where do you think, not only, as a program, but as people, as a sport, maybe even, I know you've worked on that and you fought for equality through the lacrosse as well. What's next in all of this? So where did you see, what is a step in the right direction?
I wish I had the answer for that. I think, one of the things that has been painfully obvious is there's been a lot of silence, I think, from people who were very vocal, 8 months ago. People who had a lot to say about the Black Lives Matter movement, people that have had a lot to say about Kaepernick kneeling, people who have had a lot to say about protests, and a lot of those same people, and the flag, and, the things that are representative of this country, that didn't have much to say in the last couple of days. And I think that is it's frustrating on one end, but then on the other side of it, it's what we expected. It's what I expected, and it's something that certain people, certain other, of my peers have suggested would happen. That there's silence when there needs to be honesty and candor, and people that are willing to speak up. And so, there's a part of me that wants to just sit back and say, this is what's happening. This is the root, or not the root, but this is the symptom of people not saying anything before, and people not supporting efforts to make things right. And then there's the other part of me that says, you know what, now is the time you actually do have to speak up and use your voice, even though you don't want to, even though you want to sit back and just watch. Now you have to step into this role of leading. And so that's what I'm trying to do, whether it's me posting something on my social media, or whether it's me talking to my team or talking to students or whatever it happens to be. I think various moments require various approaches, and I'm here for whatever I need to be here for.
I think, obviously, you wish you had a season. You wish you guys could get together, but, I mean, it sounds like the guys are going to learn an awful lot from you, regardless of if it's on the field or not this year, Chazz.
I hope so.
I think then that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's why you do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we appreciate your time. You're presenting Saturday at LaxCon. Obviously, guys, he's got a great perspective on a lot of things when it comes to lacrosse life and everything in general. So check out Chazz. Chazz, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great one.
You too.